Hello garden friends, and welcome to my channel, DK's Garden Oasis. I am Debbie. I'm a master gardener and butterfly raising hobbyist. In today's video I'm going to be planting my garlic. The best time to plant garlic in my zone 5B, southwest suburbs of Chicago, is fall, and that's between September and the beginning of November would be the best time to plant. We've already had some really cold days and some freezes, so I wanted to get those out there to make sure they get established for the winter. We're supposed to have a pretty warm week after today, so I wanted to get those out there now. Make sure you stay till the end where I share the most important tips for planting your garlic. So last year I planted a couple different varieties and they did start sprouting in the fall, and they were still fine through the winter, and then in the spring they just died. I'm not sure if they rotted or what happened to them. I'm going to be trying them one more time with one variety, a hardneck variety. Possibly maybe it got too much moisture. I'm going to be protecting them from the winter and covering them in a couple of weeks. So we'll try that method and see if I have any success doing that. Not all seed garlic grows well everywhere. In my zone 5B, as I said before, the best time to plant garlic would be between September and November. Garlic is frost hardy, but it should be planted 4 to 6 weeks before your first hard frost. This gives the bulbs time to establish roots. In bioclimates, garlic can be planted up until January. So for the hardneck variety that's planted in generally cold climates, hardneck varieties need temperatures between 40 and 50 degrees for 6 to 12 weeks to establish bigger bulbs. As I said before, soft neck garlic is good for braiding and also for your warmer climates. Also, your soft neck garlic, besides the braiding, it matures earlier and also stores long. Hardneck garlic is known for its stronger flavors and is better for cold winter areas that need vernalization or a cold period. In the spring, they produce a tall garlic flavored edible stalk called escape, and bulbs can be stored for about 4 to 6 months. So let's go over what you need to do to prepare the garlic. To prepare, you need loose, loamy soil with high organic content or compost and a pH of 6 to 7. You need soil with good drainage. Fertilize in late spring when scapes begin to form, and I'll talk to you further about what those are and show you what they look like. Garlic prefers full sun, part shade, and you need to keep them moist but not soggy. Garlic needs room to grow, so make sure you give it adequate room. Don't plant where there's allium crops in the past 3 years. For example, onions, scallions, chives, shallots, and leeks. Gophers also love garlic, so make sure you protect your crops with gopher wire or baskets. The garlic will arrive in full bulbs, and this is how it comes. It comes in a little mesh bag, and kind of open this so you could see it. This particular one is a hardneck variety, chestnut red, and it has a purplish color to it. And again, this is a hardneck variety, and I purchased them from Botanical Interests this year. The bulbs need to be cracked into cloves for planting. When you're planting, make sure you leave the protective skin or papery skin on the cloves of garlic. Plant the cloves with the pointed side up. Cover the cloves about 2 to 3 inches deep. Space the cloves about 6 to 8 inches apart and 12 inches between rows. After planting, apply 2 to 4 inches of mulch or some straw, untreated grass, or leaves to maintain moisture and insulate the cloves during winter, and also to prevent the cloves from pushing up during winter freezes. In colder climates, after your last frost, remove the mulch to allow the soil to warm up and reapply when the shoots start to emerge. In the spring, you can apply a high nitrogen fertilizer. Remove weeds to reduce competition for water and nutrients. Hardneck garlic will usually produce a tall stem with a curly queue at the top and a swollen flower bed at the end. This flower stalk is called a scape and should be removed to keep plants' energy focused on the bulb growth. Scapes can be eaten and have a mild garlic flavor. Harvesting. Garlic is ready to harvest when the tops are 40% yellow or brown or they fall over. Typically that's in June, beginning of July. Lift the bulbs with a digging fork, making sure that you don't pierce the bulb. Brush off any excess soil and remove any rotten cloves, but leave the roots and shoots attached. Lay or hang the whole plants in a warm, airy location out of direct sun and rain. Curing and storage. To store garlic for future use, bulbs must be cured. Curing garlic improves flavor and also is needed for storability. Hang the plants in bundles of about 20 or so, or on screens in a cool, well-ventilated area for about 3 to 4 weeks until the roots and shoots have dried. Roots should then be trimmed to the base of the bulb. Clean off any residual soil, but making sure that you leave the protective skin. Leave the tops on the soft neck if you want to braid it, or you cut down the soft neck to about 1/4 inch and the hard neck you would cut down to about 1/2 inch. For long-term storage, you keep the garlic at a temperature between 47 and 60 degrees, such as your basement or your pantry. This is the area that I'm going to do again. I'm going to use the same raised bed next to my asparagus here. And I'm going to put my garlic and do it in the same bed and hope for the best. So I'll show you how I'm going to plant that right now. Alright, so this is again the chestnut red hardneck. And this is what the bulb looks like. And so you're supposed to break apart the cloves, and I put a bunch of fresh dirt and compost in here. So what I'm going to do is try to keep the paper skins on, like it said. And here are 2. So it says to point up. This is probably where the root is, so it says about 2 to 3 inches. 6 to 8 inches apart. I'm going to put one more over here, and then I'm going to move the camera back and do a couple more. This one looks like a pretty big clove. It's got a little one attached. I'm going to just plant the whole thing. I really want success this year. So 2 to 3 inches. I think we need to get a little closer. Trying to maneuver this on my raised bed, so sorry about that, guys. Alright, so let's see if you're able to see this. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put this one in. Maybe 3 or 4, that'd be perfect. It'll just fit this area. Alright, point is up, and this is what we've got left. Maybe a couple, 1, 2, maybe 3 cloves left. Still a little chilly today, but I want to get these in because it is going to get a little warmer, and I want to plant my spring bulbs this weekend. It's supposed to be close to 70, if not 70 degrees, so I definitely want to take advantage of that warm weather. Right. And tomorrow I will show you, I'm going to cover my blueberries and my lavender, and I'll show you that tomorrow. I'm going to leave the paper on. And looks like 2 small ones, so I'm just going to put this together. Yeah, that'd be perfect. So I have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, yep, I have 12 cloves, so hopefully this works for me next year. it'll come up and we'll have some garlic, because I do use a lot of garlic. So I am preparing my blueberry plants, my lavender, and my milkweed for the winter. Last year the milkweed did not make it over the winter, so I didn't have had it under the raised bed, so maybe it just didn't get enough water or light, so I'm going to try it again. I'm going to cover it up. So what I do is, as you can see, I have these cones here, and I'll link the description in the under the video, but I put 2 of the cones around it, and then I covering over it. It's got a little tie on it, but generally I just put it underneath the plant so it stays on, and then I put some rocks on top of it. So this is my pink lemonade. This was my first year, so I didn't get any blueberries out of it. And then I have 2 different other kind next to it. Those are already covered. Then I'm going to do my lavender and my milkweed. Okay, so I planted my garlic yesterday, and I realized I got a large order of tulips and daffodils. The daffodils I will put in the ground because those will come back every year. The tulips, the squirrel seems to eat, so I'll only put a few. So I'm going to put the tulips in these 2 beds and see what happens for the spring. I'm going to give that a try this year. And then I'm going through each of my gardens. This might take a couple weeks, so I'm going to do some pruning. This right over here is an almond tree or an almond bush, and I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to trim that. I'm going to trim down the catmint and the lilies. I'm going to leave the asters until spring because there's still some blooms. Leave the lamb's ear. I will cut back all my hostas. As you can see, they're all yellowing, and I'll probably leave the goldenrod for just a little bit longer. And then I will leave the hydrangea till spring. I will go over next year which hydrangeas you should prune and when, but I generally leave them until spring. I'm going to leave the lavender. I am going to cut down the milkweed over there. So that's it for this section. Over the next couple weeks I'll be trimming all this up. Now let's go to the back. I'll show you my dahlias and what's happened to those. Okay, as you can see, no more pots. Everything is gone. I'm cleaning all the pots. This is the last of my dahlias. There's just a few, and I brought them in a couple days ago, and I'm putting them in silica gel. Looks like there's a couple that I didn't even get a bloom, like this one right here that you can see just barely opening. I think it's Picasa. I don't think I ever got a complete bloom out of that, so that's a shame, but I will, try next year. Maybe I'll put those in the front and see if I can get those to grow better. But as you can see, they're winding down. This one right here has been a great producer, and I'll go over that when I do the video on the dahlias. So what I'll probably do is take up this fence and let it die back just a little bit. Tomorrow and Saturday are supposed to be really nice, so I'll cut that back. I'll have all of my tubers ready so I can store those. And I cut down a bunch of these perennials right here. That's a yucca that I will cut. I just need a better pruners for that one. Now we'll go down to my lower garden here. I will be pulling all of the cosmos, smoke bush, and all of my Rosa Sharons I'll be pruning. I want to prune my maple back there. It's got some little shoots out the bottom that I'll be pruning. And let's see what else I have down here. I'm going to leave the salvia for a bit longer. It looks like it still has some blooms, so you never know. I did see a hummingbird, believe it or not, here till a couple days ago. This is my 7th flower. So as you can see, it was white and now it's the red flower, so that's really pretty. My maple is looking beautiful. I will be cutting back all of these. This is Joe Pye weed. I'll be cutting that back. My alliums, my bee balm, and the trumpet vine I'll be cutting back. This particular, I cut back my peonies just a few minutes ago. This one I'll be cutting back. I wasn't sure if you were supposed to cut it back, but they did come back strong. This one, however, is my early bloomer, so I may just trim just a little bit off of this. And then this one I can definitely cut back. This one's a little bit later. I've got some milkweed back there. I'm going to be putting in my milkweed too, and I'll be showing the pods and how I separate those. And my Mexican sunflower tithonia is pretty much done as well. I'll be cutting that back. All of these rows of Sharon need to be trimmed. This is the only section that I leave until spring, and so the animals can have some protection, and they eat the seeds on the coneflowers. So I'll leave this section until spring. That's my rue plant in the back, my rue bush rather. So this will stay the same until spring. I hope you found value and knowledge in my video about planting garlic. So hit that like and comment below if you've ever grown garlic or if you have any questions. In my next video, I'm going to be planting my spring bulbs, and it's supposed to be a really nice week. Now I'll share the main garden tips to growing garlic. Thanks for watching and happy gardening. Bye-bye.